Oh dear, oh dear.
I guess we should introduce ourselves. So I'm Linda Howard, and I'm the course director for the MSc in Regenerative Medicine, which has been running since 2007. And joining us, we have...
So I'm Cindy Coleman. I'm the course director for the MSc in Cellular Manufacturing and Therapy. So we are recruiting for our 6th year. So just, I guess, as a little background, so how Linda and I view this is like the 2 master's courses kind of give the spectrum of like the process of developing a regenerative therapy. So we've combined the 2 presentations, and Linda's going to start first, where we go through the MSc in Regen Medicine, where we see more of the research heavy, science heavy side of the process. And then I'll kick in and I start with the idea that something has already been discovered, and so how do you translate that to the clinic?
Shall we move on then?
Yes, please.
So I'm just so you know, we're recording this. And I thought I'd move this slide up to the beginning. So we would really strongly encourage people to apply as soon as they know that they're interested in a course, because if you wait until you have your final year results, there's a really good chance that the course will already be fully subscribed with a waiting list. So if you haven't got your final degree, you can apply to us with your 3rd year grade results, and what we'll do is we'll give you a conditional offer, and then when you have your final result, if you meet the conditions, you just submit your transcript for that, and then you'll get the offer changed from a conditional to a firm offer. So you don't need to wait. I would recommend for any of the courses that you apply as soon as you know you're interested. I should, however, note that due to the recent cyber attack, we're having problems seeing people's applications. So if you've applied and you haven't heard from us, please email us, because we get a note to say someone's applied, but we don't have your email address. So we can't let you know there's a delay, but there is a delay at the moment. We're hoping this is going to be sorted soon, but at the moment it's not sorted. So hopefully that's clear. So I thought I'll introduce the MSc in Regenerative Medicine, and then Cindy Coleman will chime in and tell you about her courses. We see them as sister courses. So there is quite a lot of overlap, but the emphasis is different for each course. So I think this course might be interesting for you if you're interested in the science behind what is going to be one of the next generations of therapy. And this is going to include things based on stem cells, gene therapy, and tissue engineered medical devices or tissue/device combinations. So if that's interesting to you. And obviously there's a need for these because the current treatments for an awful lot of conditions are really inadequate. And often they're treating symptoms rather than addressing the underlying cause. Whereas therapies that are based on stem cells, gene therapy, and tissue engineering could effectively cure the disease by addressing the underlying cause. So the students who enter this course, the vast majority of them have a background in the life sciences. So I would say, anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, microbiology, but we do have medics come onto the course as well. Quite a number of the students who go into this course haven't decided if they want to do a PhD or go into industry. And from the course, I'll show you some statistics in a minute. Quite a few do go into PhDs, but a lot do stay and go into industry as well. So just an overview of the course. It's a full 1-year course. So you start in September and you end at the end of August. The first 2 semesters are taught, and you'll learn about stem cells, gene therapy, tissue engineering, and about the process of getting a novel therapy into the clinic from a research lab, with a particular emphasis on how complicated stem cells and gene therapy are. So at the end of the taught part of semester 2, students move into a research project that, depending on when Easter falls, will go from 15 to about 20 weeks. So most of the students who do the regenerative medicine course will do their placement in a lab, in a research lab. But we do have the opportunity to do some placements in a company. And in terms of projects, I'll have a list of projects. There's enough projects for everybody to pick and rank projects, but I also will help you to organize your own if you have specific interests. And over the years, we've had student project placements within the research laboratory at NUI Galway, also at RCSI, but we've managed to send students to Rotterdam, to the Mayo Clinic, and one student went to Chicago for her project. So we do have the ability to move further afield if that interests you. We have a number of core modules which are shown in green on this slide, but we have quite a lot of optional modules which are shown in blue, and that allows you to tailor the course to your interests. So if you are going to stay in research, perhaps you'd be more interested in the biostatistics, or clinical trials, first-in-man clinical trials, or cancer biology and how that influences development of new therapies. If you're thinking more of going into a business route, then maybe the clinical trials or business would be more relevant to you. So you can look at what your previous experience has been, where you want to go, and choose optional modules that will help you get there. So I have some statistics on where students went from 2014 to 2019. About a third went directly from the course into a PhD studentship. Another third went directly into industry. A few have gone into other things like academic positions. So I would count that as going and working in a research lab, but not being a PhD student. And then obviously from that first position, students move into other things. So you find students going from industry or academia into PhD studentships. And just to give you some examples of where students have gone, we had one who went to MD PhD in Harvard. Students go to RCSI, quite a few stay in Galway with their project supervisors. Students have also gone to across Europe and also to the States. And then from last year's class, we had one go to Aston, one go to Barcelona, and several have stayed on in Galway for their PhDs. But a number of them do go into industries, and I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of the names on this slide. Regeneron for the last 2 years has been hiring like mad. But people have also gone into places like Oxford Biomedica, who make the viral vectors that are used for gene therapy. And then local companies like Orbsen Therapeutics, Medtronic, Boston Scientific as well. So obviously, this is a really big decision for you to make with relatively little information. We have some information online, but personally, I think if you want more information, contact me. My email address is here, lindahoward@nuigalway.ie. So I can send you module descriptions. I can also put you in touch with a recent graduate of the course, and I'll stay out of that loop, and you can ask them questions and get their honest opinions. And then hopefully that will help you to make your decisions. So I'm happy to take questions now, or maybe we move on to Dr. Coleman's course, and then at the end we can talk a little bit about, we can do a compare and contrast between the two courses. But if you have questions, please put them in the chat box, or you're welcome to ask them. Do you want me to be your remote control?
Okay. So my name is Cindy Coleman. I am the coordinator for the MSc in Cellular Manufacturing and Therapy. Oh, I don't have control. There we go. Okay, so our courses, like Linda said, are complementary courses, and so we pick up with the idea of a therapy has been developed and now you want to manufacture it and start translating it into a clinic. So this course is the one and only course in Ireland that offers that sort of training. And the idea is we draw heavily on the people within Remedy, so the Regenerative Medicine Institute at NUIG, where we have a lot of experience in understanding the mechanism of cellular therapy. And then we co-host a lot of modules with the staff from the Centre for Cell Manufacturing Ireland, which is our GMP production team. So there's instruction in the clinical grade of manufacturing of therapeutic cells. We split the course as close as we can to 50-50. So there will be about 50% of the core modules are focused on cellular manufacturing. So how do you isolate a cell, expand a cell, preserve a cell, ship a cell, those basic things. And then the second semester is the quality and regulatory oversight of that process. So that's about half of the core modules, give or take. The other half of the core modules are focused in 3 specific cell types. So mesenchymal stromal cells, immunotherapy, and iPS cells. In each module, you will meet a multidisciplinary team of experts because this is a very multidisciplinary field. So we have clinicians, scientists, engineers, and production scientists that get together to deliver all of the modules. And then, like in the MSc for Regen Med, there is a 4-month placement over the summer. So here's the core breakdown for the 1-year full-time MSc, because that's the most popular. There is a 2-year part-time MSc, so if that's your interest, email me and I can send you the breakdown for that program. But what you see here in semester 1, you see our core in manufacturing immunotherapy and the dissertation. So we start getting your CVs together. We start identifying potential hosts and contacting them, those sort of things. Your first semester is where you also have choose one of the optional modules that are listed there. Second semester, we have more manufacturing, MSc therapy, IPS therapy, and we continue in our quest to place you with a host. And then over the summer, you're full-time dedicated to a host placement. We flip to the next one. There we go. Okay, so host placements, this is not a complete list, but it should give you an idea of where people go. The people who enroll in this program, give or take, just over between 80 and 85% do find careers within industry. So we do have a very industry-heavy placement program. There are a minority that do try to find placements that are in academia, and then of course we support that as well. Usually they're staying within the Regenerative Medicine Institute. When we talk about industrial placements, you can see there's a list here. So we have people going to small companies, large companies, multinational companies, and then a variety of locations throughout Ireland. We've had also some success in international placements, which is continuing on this year. So if that's your thing, perhaps that's interesting to you. Next slide, please, Linda. Okay, so where do people go afterwards? I've broken this down by job titles, so you can see that in the purple, and then you have each of the companies in black underneath. But people end up as analytical scientists in PhD programs, heavy in production sciences and research assistants, some in technical support or in cell culture sciences. Just like Linda was saying, Regeneron's a big employer, Autolus, Takeda. We have new ones going to Zoetis, cell manufacturing facility of Ireland. There's a bit of variety for every interest. Where do they go? So we're starting to get a little bit larger of an international footprint. So we have people going to New York, to Vancouver, India. We have 3, I think, now that are in China. But you can see the vast majority of people are ending up in Europe. Linda, if you go to the next one, I think there's, yeah. So within Europe, we have now there are 2 in Germany, Netherlands, a variety in London, Manchester, and then the vast majority of people going through Ireland. Right, so I'm going to loop back to what Linda was saying earlier. We very much encourage, if you're applying to these programs or any other program, your best chance is if you apply early. You do not need your final year marks. You can apply with your 3rd year marks. And again, because of the attempted cyber attack, we just get notified that somebody has applied. It doesn't give us your information. So if you apply, just email us too, and just say, I'm the person who applied, and so that we have your contact information. We can keep you updated on how our progress or non-progress in reviewing applications. We're trying our best, but there's only so much we can do. And as a bit of enticement, there is a scholarship that's valued at €1,500 for any full-time taught student that is applying with a 1-1. So the scholarship scheme will open in spring of 2022. It's open for both NUIG students and non-NUIG students. Unfortunately, not open for the non-EU students. That's a lot of negatives, but you need to be Irish to apply. I think that's all that we have. So is there anything that you'd like to talk about, or do you have questions about the programs, or where our graduates find work, or what type of work, anything like that?
Yeah, so I suppose I do have a question. So I'd be more interested in maybe pursuing a PhD in the future. which of these master's programs do you think would be more suited to that kind of career path?
So I guess we both have success in getting students into PhD programs. I guess really the question is, what do you want your PhD to be in? Where do you want to focus? So you can do active research in a basic biology of any cell type, in which case I would encourage you to go to the MSc in Regen Med. But there are also very active research programs going on manufacturing. Like, so what is the best way to expand the largest number of cells, or to make sure they're most efficacious when they are delivered? And so if that's your thing, then MSc in cell therapy. So I think either program will have, we'll try our best to support you in getting a PhD. We send opportunities to our classes all the time, and we will give you a skill set that we think will make you attractive to somebody who's hiring for a PhD. But so just choose based on what area you want your PhD to be in. Linda?
I agree. And I also think for doing a PhD, you don't even have to have a super relevant master's. We're going to equip you with the skill set that you can apply to different fields. So some of our students would have only done a small amount of cancer biology, but they've gone into PhDs that are very cancer related. So I think just showing the process that you've learned how to learn independently and you've gathered these skills is a really good foundation for going into a PhD. And over the years, a lot of students from the med class have gone into PhDs, and several from the cell manufacturing one as well. So I sometimes think just look at the module descriptions and choose the ones that excite you the most, because the things you're most interested and excited about are probably going to be the things you do best in. And hopefully that'll carry you into a related PhD.
Okay, thank you. And I've just one more question, if that's all right. So I did my undergrad in NUIG. I did biomedical science with pharmacology, and I noticed that a lot of the modules in regenerative medicine are ones that I've already done. Now, I think there are enough that I could choose other ones, but is that an issue if I've done a lot of the modules already? I obviously wouldn't choose those particular ones if I was to do that master's, but
yeah, I think you can't do the same module again. It doesn't make any sense, for your time and your money that you're spending on doing this course. So yeah, there's other options that I hope you could choose. Some are graduate level ones that are not available to undergraduates, so they should be new for you. We also have a secret option that we don't tell people about on this, but there is a way that you can do a literature review in a very independent manner. If you really can't find an optional module that interests you, we'll pair you with an academic and you can do something independent. But hopefully there'll be choices there that are interesting to you that aren't modules we've already done. I mean, that's actually one of the reasons we have so many options. We did used to have pharmacology as a core module, and we have a lot of students from pharmacology. I have to say, you get very good training from the pharmacology department. But it was the way the university is set up now, you can't drop a core module. So we had to make modules students may have taken already optional modules. So that's sort of how the course evolved to have so many options. But hopefully it wouldn't be a problem. And if you drop me an email with your email address, I can send you the module descriptions and you can look through them before you sign up, obviously.
perfect. Thank you very much.
I think you're muted, Cindy.
Sorry, I just said thanks, Claude, no problem.
I think one thing that sometimes students ask is about the projects. So I don't know how projects have worked for your undergraduate. Sometimes people are just assigned a project. We try to give you a lot more agency in the projects that you are doing for your summer. So we would have a list for everybody for the RegMed course, and we'd ask you to rank your top 6 or 7 out of that list, and I'll juggle it. So hopefully people get one of their top 3, but we can also help you arrange a project that interests you independently. if there's a supervisor that you're particularly interested in working with, we'll do the best that we can to facilitate you going to them. And I think the cellular manufacturing has the opportunity to do internships in companies. And if you're thinking about going an industry route, that is absolute gold on your CV, to have gone and worked in a commercial, non-academic setting where you're following SOPs and you're trained to do everything in a particular way. So even the very creative things you do in industry are normally have to be done a certain way. And that can be, if you're thinking of going into industry and you have a relevant internship, it's incredibly useful.
Yeah, so ours is a little bit different how we do the placements. So we will ask people early on in the year to list what type of placement they like, what type of job they want. Do they want to be in a small company, a large company, you know, large descriptive descriptions of what sort of placement you're looking for. We will find placements that match that. We do it through more of an interview process, so you have to have your CV. Most likely the host will hold interviews and select from the class who they want to take into each placement. But there's a placement for everybody. Everybody's found a placement, and to the best of my knowledge, if you wanted to be in industry, you're in industry. If you wanted to be in research, you're in research. And so we match interests as best we can.
So I see that Neve has joined us. We've just finished talking about the courses. There will be a recording available if you want to watch it. But whilst you've got us here, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.